It is Friday, and it is the NFL Print Factory Show back with the boys, Big T at Big T44 DFS and ODB at AU David B on Twitter. Of course, I'm JSU at JSU Rab on Twitter. Give us a follow if you don't already. Big T, how you feeling here on this Friday? You ready to pick some winners?
Love it. I just can't believe we're already week 12. We always joke
Crazy.
about it, but I love coming on Fridays, talking to you guys, arguing about some football. How in the world are we 3 months in already, though? The time just flies by during NFL season. Now we're to the holidays, too. Next week, Thanksgiving slate. Actually, next week, we probably should do the Print Factory on Wednesday, too, now that I'm thinking about it. Get those Thanksgiving games in the mix. But you got Thanksgiving, and then each week, like, stuff happens. You got random Saturday games, Friday games, all the different things. We're here. I mean, we're in the peak of football right now. Bowl games coming not far, and we got a playoff this year in college football, obviously. Well, we had a playoff, but now we got a real playoff. And, yeah, it's freaking awesome. Happy to be on here with you guys.
ODB, how was the old football weekend for you?
Well, I have an announcement. She is now Bo Nix. This is now the Bo Nix dog.
Change the name change?
My wife just
I see the name. I couldn't see it at first.
Bo Nix. This is Bo. This is our new puppy, Bo.
Welcome, Bo.
Used to be Cam Dog. She's now sponsored by Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos.
That's how crazy thing. All it takes is like 12 games and you're out, Cam Newton. Cam Newton's gone. Bo Nix is here, baby.
I finally have another quarterback after the long drought of being a Tom Brady fan. Now the drought is over. I now have a new quarterback, love, and it's Bo Nix and my baby Cam Dog representing the old Auburn Tigers. There we go.
I agree. You need a Broncos hoodie to go with Cam's. You need yourself a hoodie. You got to get yourself a hoodie or a jersey.
I need a Broncos all orange. I'm going to see Bo take on my boy Brock Bowers this week and the Raiders. So we'll have Nix in the DFS lineup, that's for sure. So good week for him anyway versus team. Look at the Cam Dog. She's looking sharp.
Cam Dog's ready to roll.
She's ready. The Bo Dog. Bo Dog.
She loves the upgrade because Cam never sat good with her. Never fully happy, embraced. Now full embrace to the Bo.
Yeah, look at that.
The question is, will Bo get to the finish line and get past the finish line, or will it be like Cam, just kind of hanging around, never really doing it? That's the real question.
You know,
we're gonna get there.
Let's one step at a time. We're just worried about Rookie of the Year right now. We're worried about making the playoffs, and then he'll probably lose in the first round to Buffalo, and people will be like, "Oh, so he told you he's a fraud," and it's like, "Oh yeah, you lost to freaking Buffalo in Buffalo." But one step at a time.
If he makes the playoffs his rookie year, then that's an accomplishment in itself, right?
The problem is he's already 33 years old, so he's only got another 5-year window.
He's only, you know what? I saw it yesterday. He's the same age as Jaden Daniels. He's only a few months older than
Is he seriously the same? Yeah. Jaden Daniels was around for a while, too. He was at, like, Arizona State, and he was around.
Yeah, he's a few years. My dog looks like E.T. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
That's a good comparison.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about before we get on to this slate?
No, we absolutely smashed last week. If you follow my Twitter, 8-1 on picks I put out on Twitter, so that's pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad for a little schlub like myself.
Sounds pretty good to me. Tony, sounds pretty good to you.
I like 8-1. Sounds good. I like 8-1.
Don't worry, all the comments. Oh, you missed the Browns.
That's
we
how
did
it always
miss the Browns.
You guys know
we did miss the Browns for sure. I like the Browns too, so that was definitely one of my bad calls. But I'm with you. I had a pretty good weekend betting. So
yeah, I think the show did pretty good, except you guys finally got off the Chiefs the wrong time.
Fucking Chiefs.
That's all right. I'll still bet the fucking Chiefs every time. I'm still just gonna bet the Chiefs. I'll lose a couple games, but it's whatever.
Oh, now you're a Chiefs lover.
So I'm not a Chiefs lover. They run so pure. It's just gonna happen.
Man. Let's get back to our roots. We're Chiefs haters here. Let's just go down with the ship.
The GIF is my favorite part of being a Chiefs hater when the GIF comes out.
We're gonna have a two-way GIF. If
I will be happy though if Buffalo does win and go to the Super Bowl. I will secretly be happy that they beat the Chiefs if that actually does happen, because I really don't want the Chiefs to win.
We're not going to be secret about anything. We're going to be out in the open. We're going to be
because I'm going to pick the Chiefs so I don't get owned for the 7th straight year or whatever it's been. It feels like 7 straight years. It probably hasn't, but it feels.
There's no way they're winning it. Is the funny thing. That's what I said last year too, but I just can't see them winning it.
Dude, we were so confident last year.
I was more confident than ever last year. I would have bet any amount. I would have bet my house. I would have bet everything last year. There's no way they could win it last year. They couldn't, and then they won it.
There's just no way. And they're gonna get guys back too. They're gonna look different by the time the play. It's just they're gonna be fine.
How are they gonna be Big Daddy Bo though? Big Daddy Bo wants them.
Man, I hope
somehow does want them.
I hope the Chiefs get that 2 seed and the Broncos get the Chiefs in the first
round.
God,
I would love the Broncos to play them.
I want the Steelers to play the Ravens round 1, and I want the Chiefs to. I want either the Steelers to play the Ravens or the Chiefs to play the Broncos. Give me those division matchups. Those will be good games. Those will be really good, unless we get the Bengals somehow
squeaking
in. But I think
we were all kind of hoping Russ Wilson versus Sean Payton, but that's not going to happen now. Pittsburgh's probably going to be a 5 seed. They're probably not even going to win the division. That was a must win last night.
Yeah, I mean,
but even if they don't, they're going to be a 3 or 4. They have one more
game against the Ravens though, or did they already play 2? They have one more, right?
They have one more.
Oh yeah, so they're not dead. They're not out of it then. They still got one more game against the Ravens.
Yeah, but they're not going to be they already have 3 losses, so they're not going to be. They're not going to be a 1 or 2.
How many did the Ravens have? Don't they have 3?
The
Pittsburgh schedule is way harder.
The Ravens. Yeah, but it just doesn't. I'm just saying they're not going to be able to play the Broncos. I want to see Sean Payton versus Russ Wilson.
Oh, I got you. I was confused for a second. I was like, wait a second.
Collapse. Pittsburgh's schedule's tough. They might collapse a little bit.
It's kind of good if they're playing tough teams, because I like them as underdogs. So give me them as 3.5 point underdogs more than the favorites. I hate when
they play the Bengals right away next week. So
yeah, those division matchups, they're gonna always play tight. So that should be interesting.
I mean, their schedule's brutal, man. They might totally collapse. They play the Chiefs.
You know whose schedule's not brutal is the Broncos. They're the opposite of what you're talking about. They have a very nice ending.
The Steelers play though. They play the Chiefs. They play the Bengals twice. They play the Ravens. They play the Eagles. Their schedule is.
They might not win another game.
Their schedule. They'll beat Cleveland. Cleveland's all. They play Cleveland at home. They'll win that one, but they could lose the rest.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
I put a big futures play in this week. Broncos to make the playoffs. I got -105, but they're -125 at
they're
DK.
Still only that. They're not a bigger favorite than that.
They were -105 where I got it, but they're -125 on DK. And their schedule, they play the Raiders. They get Indy at home, which is their biggest competitor for the spot. And they have Cleveland at home. So their next 3 games are Raiders at home versus Cleveland and home versus Indy. If Detroit beats Indy this week, they have a 2-game lead on them, and they get them at home. Really, it's just Dolphins or Bengals have to kind of run the table. And the Broncos,
a crazy good bet. That bet might be one of the best bets we've ever given on this show.
I think it's just printing.
They finish with 3 tough games at the Chargers.
Right, but if something happens in the meantime, you can kind of unless they lose 2 of those 3. If they win 2 of the 3 at Raiders, home versus the Browns, versus Indy,
yeah, they're good.
You can always get out of it at plus money. But I'm not looking to get out of it. I'm just saying I think it should just be a lock. So I mean, I think it's a crazy good value.
Yeah, I like the bet. That's a good bet. All right, let's get to the games then. We'll get to Denver here, as I'm sure the whole chat wants me to give. I already posted on Twitter that I was wrong, and then ODB's adding me on Twitter more after I already posted I was wrong, because I'm a man, and I fucking tell you when I'm fucking wrong, and I was wrong. I will say it, but I wasn't wrong about being the only man to grab his nuts and tell you that fucking the Broncos as a team, not talking about Bo Nix, but as a team, we're going to fucking own the Atlanta Falcons, and it was a terrible spot for the Falcons. And these fucking guys up here, I'm going to take them, but I don't know. It's a tough spot coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs.
Look, we put our money on the Broncos. That's all that matters.
Atlanta team was the worst matchup against Denver in Denver, and these guys were like, I like Atlanta.
Trying to circle back and get out of your.
I'm not. No, this isn't me talking about Bo Nix. This isn't me talking about Bo Nix. This is me talking about Denver as a team.
You're deflecting off of your Bo Nix.
No. I already admitted on Twitter, which is public to fucking everyone, and on this show that I was wrong. But you guys need to stop fucking hiding between shit. And ODB needs to stop telling me, I bet him in the money line. You're on this show. Fuck the money line with the Chiefs. You're on this show. Stop telling people, this Atlanta team, they're tough. I can't take this team every week. I didn't take my Packers last week. Like, I bet the fucking Bears at 5.5. I didn't take them. I take them when I think they're going to fucking cover or win. I didn't take them last week.
You got the
F-bombs you don't have to fucking take your team every week.
JSU came in with a grenades.
He's got.
I mean, come on, man. Let's be happy.
It drives me nuts.
Can we be the Bo Nix podcast?
Yeah, we could be the Bo
You guys can be the Bo Nix podcast. I am out on the Bo Nix podcast.
So
we got 14 straight F-bombs.
He got
this is
everything
what we got.
Wanted
this is our poster child for Bo Nix right here.
I mean, should we just start with that game? I feel like since we're just on a roll.
No, we need the viewers to stay tuned. We need the viewers to stay.
We need to come back to Bo Nix. we talk about him in the beginning and we talk about him in the end.
Let's talk about some of these games that don't matter, that don't involve Bo Nix.
Face ID is killing me right now. Let's go. Speed it up here. All right. Let's get back to the main slate here. We'll get to Bo Nix later.
All that hair. I can't recognize you with all that hair.
You want to get down?
I know. It's my fucking... I mean, they should be used to it, though. I get what? Like 6 months where I look like a caveman, right, Tony? Like at least 6 months. Should be used to it by now.
Yeah.
JSU represents angry men emojis for DFS. Yeah, you can put me on there. That's fine.
He had at least 14 straight F-bombs in that rant.
I know he's
was
trying
that good
to turn
or bad?
it on. He's trying to turn it on that he's the Denver guy. I don't even know.
No, I'm not the Denver guy. I refuse to be a Denver guy. I just get mad when you guys tell me that I'm not. I don't see things because I have my team, and then you're saying you can't bet your team weekly when they were in the best fucking spot.
I bet them. We bet them. They went in my contest.
I'm literally quoting the show from last week, just so you know. I went back and listened. I'm quoting the show. And then Big T goes, the best part of the whole show was Big T goes, after I went on the same rant, Big T goes, JSU's going to get pissed at me again because I don't love this spot again. I'm going to pick the Broncos, but I'm not confident.
Look, when it's your own team, you've got to somewhat temper expectations because it sounds like you're always
secretly doing.
Yeah,
I'll say it for you. I think that's what you guys are secretly doing.
Don't worry, I'm not going to temper expectations this week on both. Well,
I don't against the Raiders. I don't expect you to temper the expectations. All right,
I just told you. I just bet a huge future on them to make the playoffs. I know. So let's go.
Lions and Colts, first game on the slate. 7.5 point favorites. The Lions are in Indy. Man, Indy's got a tough couple games coming up, but Lions rolled last time out. I think we were all on the Lions. They just fucking dominated. DFS, they were crushing. I didn't play any Lions either, so that stung for me because, Tony, did you play any Lions in DFS?
Nope.
Well, maybe ODB
Jameson.
did. So
Jameson, I said.
he was the one guy I kind of liked, but I was like, man, they're going to score they're going to be up 25 after half, and he's not.
Yeah, how do you think they're going to get up 25? Jameson.
I thought they were all going to score a touchdown. I never dreamed Amon-Ra would shove. Yeah, I mean,
didn't Monty have 2 touchdowns too?
I mean, they all crushed. They scored like 90 points. The whole team got there. If you just overstacked it, you were gold.
Yeah.
Did Jared Goff get there? That's the teller. When Jared Goff scores like 37,
yeah,
I know that's when Jared Goff scores 37, you know, like, okay, I had a bad week in fantasy because I did not play Jared Goff here. But
I mean,
can we play it against the Colts here? I mean, the Colts defense, hasn't been anything special. They've been going up against offenses, honestly, that haven't been great. Like these are the Jets, which the Jets have totally imploded. Houston, where CJ Stroud is had an up and down year for sure. They are missing pieces though, especially in that game they were missing pieces. But in general, they've been struggling, I think, offensively. Who else? Miami, I think, without Tua in that spot, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. In Minnesota, who struggled, Tennessee, like these aren't the best offenses they've been playing. And now they get Detroit that's just absolutely rolling. I mean, is this just another spot where we got to hammer Detroit, Tony?
I mean, we've all kind of been on Detroit every week. And one of the best takes we had from the show last week was to play Anthony Richardson, because this dude had his best game of his career. He absolutely shoved. And if you played him, you did well. He didn't score more than Goff, but he got like 30. He just plugged, and he was just awesome. And I actually like Indy in this spot a little bit. Catching 7.5 at home. I do think it's a teaser spot again for Detroit. Again, I say this every week on the show, but these teasers have got murdered this year. Murdered. They've been so good, like the last 10 years of my life, they've got murdered this year. But it's another spot where I like Detroit in the teasers. But I think Indy, it sounds crazy, but I think they can score on Detroit too. I think Richardson can get on the move. Detroit likes to play physical D. I think that helps Richardson a little bit, get out of the pocket, get on the move. And by the flow chart, Josh Downs is one of the best plays of the week. So no one's going to play Josh Downs. People will play Richardson because he's 5,600 and he can run. But no one's going to play Josh Downs. And I think Indy's a pretty good spot here. It is risky because Detroit's the best team in football right now. I think we all kind of agree that they're the best team, the best overall team. But it's a tricky spot for Detroit. They're pounding people. Now they're on the road in Indy. It feels a little bit of a letdown spot for me for Detroit. So I'm on Indy this week. I love Amon-Ra, though. Amon-Ra. So 2 flowchart plays in this game, Amon-Ra or J-Mo if you want to play J-Mo. But I like Amon-Ra and Josh Downs. I think 2 of the better plays of the week in this game. And I like Richardson. So I'm pretty high on this game. I think Indy can score, and Detroit's always going to score. So if Indy scores, you're looking at a shootout. So I like this game.
ODB, are you with Tony that the Colts could be a good spot for the Colts?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything you said there. I'm afraid this is kind of a letdown spot for the Lions. I had Richardson last week, my DFS. Like I say, I only do one lineup, so I had Richardson, played him naked. It was a good play. And I've been the Anthony Richardson hater from the beginning. So yeah, I think this is kind of a tricky, tough spot. Just I don't know, man. It just seems like going to Indy, they have a little renewed vigor that the Lions could look up and be in a football game. That being said, it's hard to have a lot of confidence because this Lions offense can just shove on everybody. I mean, they are just that good. I think they could have a letdown spot, but with Dan Campbell, you just never know, man. This team might just be built a little bit different. So I don't love it, but if I have to play a side, I'm going to play the Colts. I think from DFS, I think Big T's right. I think there can be points here. It does feel like the Detroit defense is not going to be as good, like you put up there. Anzalone's out, obviously. They lost the big guy, and I mean, Za'Darius Smith is there, but they're just not as good as they could be. Indy kind of plays like a bend don't break defense. So yeah, Monroe could be a receiving merchant there and get his 12 to 15 balls. So um, yeah, I kind of lean Colts, and I do think this is a sneaky spot that you could get a lot of points in this game. Josh Downs, pretty nice call too. I like him.
Yeah, I will say Anthony Richardson was a good call, I think, by you guys, and he didn't look completely lost throwing the football all game. Like he still had some bad throws, but he had some pretty good throws too, or what I thought were pretty good throws. Where I was like, oh wow, that's like now they were getting dared to like throw the football literally, and I think Detroit does the exact same thing. And I think if you like the Colts, you have to love them for fantasy. Like this game in general, you have to just love. Because I think if you like the Colts, I think there's points from both sides in that scenario if you do, and not just like a one-sided thing. And I think you have to think Anthony Richardson doesn't just score with his legs, but also uses his arm and throws, a touchdown or two here and has a decent game throwing as well, because that's how you beat Detroit. You don't beat Detroit running the football. You beat Detroit through the air. And we even saw Tennessee have some success. Obviously, they were getting killed and stuff like that. Or not. Who would they face? Was it Tennessee last game? I forget who it was. Whoever it was.
The Colts?
No. I'm blanking on the Detroit matchup here. Jacksonville. No, yeah, I got them mixed up with the Colts. Whatever. But either way, I still think that you have to have success through the air to beat this Detroit team or to keep it close. So I think Detroit wins. I think they win pretty handily. So I'm going to go the Detroit side. But if you guys like Rich, I would be playing a wide receiver this week because I would think someone like Josh Downs goes off or something like that. I wish Donnie Mitchell would play more. He had that one big play. I don't know if you guys saw where he fell at the one, but I think he needs to get some more reps.
Score on that play.
I thought he did. He reached out for the ball.
It was one of those plays that like 20 years ago he would score every time because they didn't review it, and then they're always down on the edge line. Always, like it's crazy.
Yeah, unless it's the running back that I fade where he just scores. Every other guy's down at the 1 inch line. So.
Josh Downs is good. I never give like strong takes on this show, DFS. Josh Downs is going to freaking nuke this week. He's going to crush.
I honestly think that's the guy you go with if you're playing this game. You gotta like some Josh Downs. All right, next game on the slate: Chiefs and Panthers here. 10.5 point spread in Carolina. Chiefs coming off the big game. They go from playing the Bills in Buffalo to going to Carolina to play this terrible Panthers team. 43 is the total here. ODB, can you take the Carolina Panthers at 10.5?
This game's just going to be a pass from me on betting. I don't really trust. One thing that Kansas City does do well is they play good defense. Spagnuolo blitzing Bryce Young doesn't really sound all that appealing to me from Panther side, but Chiefs don't really blow out these type of teams. I think Kareem Hunt's a good play. He's still kind of cheap. He's still the workhorse there. Pacheco's out for the game. I can't see them needing to do much more than just give him the rock. So yeah, I think he's pretty cheap. I think he's like 5,700 or something. And
I think he might be the highest owned guy the entire season.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even know.
Mega chalk.
They dropped his price tag.
I didn't even realize. I had no idea.
I still think he's a good play with you, though. I just think he's going to be like insane.
He went from 6,700 to 5,700 in the best matchup ever.
Pacheco was coming back, I think.
Oh
yeah, I mean that's bad price. I saw it. I was like, well, this seems like a slam dunk. So I guess I'm right on with everybody else. Okay, so he's probably not a good tournament play, but just in general,
he's a good tournament play though. For your reasoning, I think he's going to crush. Still, they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Did you guys see him score and then them call the timeout? I don't know if you guys played Kareem Hunt last week, but did you guys see that where they like called the play at the 1 yard line? He was like gonna score, and Andy Reid calls the timeout, and Pat Mahomes looks over and he's like, he's like yelling, "I got it," as he walks over to him and stuff. I was so tilted because I had him for an anytime touchdown. But yeah, he's going to score 2 this week, 100%. So
I mean, the price is a damn joke.
yeah,
I mean, he's 5,700. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I was right there. I try not to look too much at what exposure is going to be. I kind of just go with it in my head, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, if it was something that I saw, which I typically try to overlook a lot of the Chiefs stuff just because I don't really like the Chiefs. So, but yeah, I mean, this game just seems like kind of a boring game. It just doesn't really seem like I really want any part of it. I could see this game being something like 23-13 or, 28-13. I mean, it's whatever. It's somewhere in that area.
Tony, I think we're just never going to get a Patrick Mahomes like explosion game ever. Like, can we get one time where he just does like he pulls the Jared Goff on a bad team and just goes for 35?
Man, he's killed my high stakes season long stuff, just murdered me. And I do think there's at least a tiny chance that they lost last week. They realize their offense hasn't got going really. And they just say, let's go, Pat, this week. And it does make for a leverage play off of Hunt. Like, oh, my God, there goes my camera. Just a terrible sign. I knew it was going to happen. Son of a bitch. Oh, my God.
This makes the show.
Of course, it's on the Chiefs game, too. Unfreaking. I spiked it. JSU couldn't even see me spike my hat. He knows when I spike it. I gave the hat spike.
I love when he spikes his hat, too. That's my favorite.
Freaking believable that just happened during this game. But I do think there's a chance that Pat they go crazy in this game. And it is a leverage spot. I say it just because tournaments. Like, how many times this year has he missed Xavier Worthy on a deep ball by 2 yards?
I think every game, the last like 4 games, I swear to God.
5 or 6 times this year, he could have a 70-yard. You know how different their numbers would look if they connected on 4 or 5 of those? I mean, they'd have 4 or 5 bombs that change everything. Oh, my God. Trevor Bryan, you're my tech guy. You got to help me. This is
someone call Radio Shack. We got a man down. He needs a Radio Shack.
My hat's
Get it
still
quick.
off right now. I'm so freaking tilted. I can't even talk about this game anymore. I'm too mad.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with these guys. I don't think this is a game I'm going to bet. When we start getting into the 10.5, whatever this is, like Chiefs just kill me every time, but they should win this game by a lot. I just don't feel like Andy Reid and the Chiefs in these spots ever like step on the throat like the Lions do. And I could totally be wrong about that, but it just feels like they just run the clock once they get up in these spots, like all the time, which makes Kareem Hunt a better play because once they get up, it's just pound the fucking rock with Kareem Hunt. So yeah, Chiefs, but no real plays. Did you see Noah Gray catch 2 touchdowns, or was it 2 touchdowns? Noah Gray, not in a showdown spot, but finally catches a touchdown. I actually
liked him last week. I played him a little last week. I liked him just because he was super cheap, and it was a nut spot for Kelsey. So I always like to play the cheaper guy in those spots. I didn't have like a ton. He wasn't on my main team, but I liked him.
Huh.
It didn't matter though, because Taysom dropped a 50 nugget, so it didn't matter what any other tight end did.
Yeah, you played the wrong fucking tight end, Tony. Jonnu Smith and Taysom.
So, yeah.
Yep. All right, let's get to the Patriots and the Dolphins here. 7.5 point spread. Dolphins are favored in Miami. 46.5 total here against New England. Tony, I'll stick with you here. Dolphins at home. Tua, Tyreek, what are we doing with this spot? Because the offense hasn't looked amazing, but they're finding ways.
Yeah, they're finding ways to win. Oh, God, my camera's going to tilt me so much. But I just can't take New England. I'm done with New England. I said it last week. I just can't. I might actually do it for a second, reset it. But while you guys are talking about this one, I like Miami. Yeah. Miami's got an outside chance to just run the table and get in the playoffs. I can't take New England on the road over Miami. I just can't do it. But fantasy-wise, I'm not going to like a ton in this game. Achan's going to be very high owned too, but I don't like him as much in this spot versus New England. His price tag, for example, like he's almost 2K more than Hunt. I mean, I know he's got pass game work and all that stuff, but I just don't like him near as much as Hunt, and he's going to be popular too. So I don't know. I don't love this game, but I do like Miami. I'll be back.
Yeah, go away. I agree with Devin here. Drake May, for not having any weapons, ODB, man, that's tough. And he's looked pretty solid for not having really any weapons. But do you give him a chance against this Miami team?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good spot. I don't really believe that much in this Miami team. And New England's trying. I mean, it feels like New England's in every game. The back door is always open with them. I think there's two ways to win with New England. One, they could just make it a game, and two, they could come in, through the back. I don't trust Miami's defense at all. I think this is a great game from a fantasy standpoint, though. Butte, little flop lag from last week, super cheap. Still got some targets last week, and he was on the field a lot. I feel like they could be down. New England's got a terrible pass defense, so Achane is like a receiver anyway, and he gets the rushing touchdown work. I could see Miami scoring a lot of points here. I think this is a great game stack for tournaments. I think Butte is good. I think Jonnu Smith is good. I know people will be like, you're chasing, but you're not really. I mean, the guy is active in the game. He's an active part of this offense. He's been an active part for 6 weeks, and he's cheap. Hunter Henry, Miami is not very good versus the tight end. Who'd they play last week? Oh, yeah, Brock Bowers had 13 catches for like 140 yards. Obviously, Hunter Henry's not Brock Bowers, but it just means that they know that you can throw the ball to the tight end. Yeah, I think this is a really good game for fantasy. I think you could just game stack this for tournaments, and I think you can put pieces in, any pieces really. I think they're all fine. If you want to play May, you can play May. If you want to play the double wide receiver stack for Miami, you can. You want to play Jonnu, I think you can. I think you can play Butte. Pop Douglas, born as a contrarian play. Like, I think there's plenty of pieces here. I do think that New England keep it close. I like them to cover. I think they make a game of it. I don't know if they actually win. I hope not, because I'll have a little Miami exposure in a survivor. So I hope Miami wins this game, but I don't think it's going to be without a sweat. So I kind of like New England here with the points.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you from the game standpoint. I think Patriots could hang in there and keep it close. And to your point with was it Kayshon Boutte? I mean, he's out there. He's running by far the most routes of any wide receiver. 88%, almost 89% of the routes run. The next best wide receiver, who's not a tight end, I'm not counting Hunter Henry, is Demario Douglas at 62%. So he is just clearly running ahead of all these other receivers. Because then they've got a bunch of other guys that are getting just a little bit of work, like Kendrick Bourne and Polk and some of those guys. So yeah, it looks like right now he's clearly their main guy who they want out there. So
when I looked at the slate from a DFS standpoint, I saw there's a lot of guys up top that I like, and there wasn't a whole lot at the bottom. So if you want to play some top guys, you got to find some value. And Butte was the one that I thought was the best. I thought Butte. I have Butte and Jonnu as a nice little mini stack from that game. I think you can get both of them for under 8,000. You fill up two positions, a game that I think could get some points. And then you can fit in some of these other good guys. So I kind of like that. I kind of like these cheap pieces, but I also like the expensive pieces too. I disagree with Tony. I think Achane's a fucking smash. It's going to be between him and McCaffrey, who I shove in as the smash spot at running back. But yeah, I think think Achan's going to smash. I think Hill always has a potential to smash. So I like this game a lot.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as high on the DFS side of the game as you are, or what it sounds like. But I mean, Achan would probably be the best of the Miami guys. I just I don't know how I feel about like points. I like the idea of like cheap pieces, but I don't know how much I like the idea of like spending up for studs. So I'm probably lower on the studs. Tyreek Hill, just like honestly, like what he's doing, even though it's not like terrible, it's just not going to get it done for like DFS. He's gotta give us bigger games than what he's given us, and it's just not.
I mean,
there.
you look at you look at how the Rams beat them with Cooper Kupp. I mean, I feel like Tyreek can get the ball like in similar spots as Kupp. I never really like Hill, but the Patriots, I think they're 32nd in most wide receiver points allowed or
one
something.
of the best matchups. So yeah, they're like one of the best matchups. I mean,
you have a
maybe Hill is the play. Maybe it is the pivot off of Achan. Is Hill.
You have a team that likes to give up fantasy points, and you have a team in Miami that has the potential to break slates. So I mean, it's kind of
I
kind
think
of a
if I
best of
talk
both worlds.
or if you talk, you could maybe talk me into some Tyreek Hill, even though he has not been amazing for DFS, but maybe he's the one guy that I might have overlooked going into it. But either way, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's go to an interesting game here. We've got Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants. We got Tommy DeVito. I don't know if you saw earlier. So Daniel Jones released. He asked to be released, which I thought was a pretty crazy story here. So if you want to give a take on Daniel Jones, I mean, I actually kind of like that he just was like, I want to be gone. If I'm not going to be the one or two, like, just let me go at that point. And they were like, yeah.
Well, look, I mean, the Raiders did this with Derek Carr. Some other team did it last year with somebody. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they have these injury clauses where the team's going to owe like $25 million if Daniel Jones gets hurt. He's right now listed as the fourth quarterback. This team, you say what you want about Daniel Jones. Yes, he didn't live up to being the number 6 pick overall, but it's not his fault. He wasn't supposed to be drafted there. I didn't really like Jones at first, but he kind of grew on me. I think he's a gamer. He went out there, he fought. I think he's a decent quarterback. He gave it all for the organization. The organization's like, hey, we're not going to risk paying you $25 million if you get hurt. You're going to be the scout team safety, all this bullshit. You know what? Have a little respect for the guy. Let him get cut ties. We don't need a 4-week, 6-week saga of Daniel Jones. He's still listed as fourth on the depth chart. You're never playing him. So I think good on the Giants organization for letting him go. I think Daniel Jones has a chance to sign on with somebody else and be a good quarterback. People saying, oh, this guy's out of the league. He sucks. He's not a backup. I mean, that's ridiculous. The guy's a reasonable quarterback. Gardner Minshew still starts in the NFL. I mean, we have Miami who literally couldn't complete a forward pass when Tua was out.
Miami should pick him up. Miami should be the first one.
I mean, the reality is he's not a top 15 quarterback, but he's also not a bottom 70 quarterback. He's okay starter on a team rebuilding, and maybe he makes a Baker resurgence, maybe he doesn't. Probably more in line with like a Sam Darnold than a Baker at this point. Maybe he can bridge. He's probably not going to get back to the point where like Baker's now a legitimate NFL player. Darnold is probably a bridge gap between the JJ coming. And yeah, I think that's kind of where Daniel Jones is. I hope he gets a fresh start. The New York media is toxic. I mean, like, let's just be honest. Everybody is failing as quarterbacks of these New York teams. Even Eli was like very up and down career. He had those 2 Super Bowls, but without that, I mean, he was much maligned. Nobody in New York liked him for a while. Now he's a hero because, whatever. But I mean,
Mhm.
he even got benched at the end of his career. Aaron Rodgers can't do it. Everybody that the Jets have drafted has failed miserably. So, yeah, I think the New York media is toxic. I'm glad Daniel Jones gets a reset. And I think it's kind of weird that they're starting to veto over Locke. I think that's kind of maybe the organization being like, let's just sell some tickets and make a sideshow here, lose some games, and try to draft
Yeah.
Sanders or Cam Ward. So from that perspective, I don't think that the Giants really want to win this football game. So there he is. There's
Yep.
our man.
Look how bright it is. I'm so tilted by this friggin'
Oh,
camera.
you look great right now. Look at
Oh,
you, just
I'm
bright.
on the sun right now.
Yeah, the rays, the sun. You should get one of those things so you can go tanning. You know what I'm saying? Like you just hold that thing up, just hold it up like this.
I hate you guys.
Yeah, you look
You're
good right now. Look at you.
We're opining
Chat,
on
doesn't Big T
the.
look good right now? We're
looks
talking
great.
about Daniel Jones right now, so you hopped in at a great time. ODB, before I throw to Big T, do you think do you have like the best spot in mind for Daniel Jones in your opinion would be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think that, maybe a team like the Raiders who draft a quarterback would be fine. The Giants would be a great spot for Daniel Jones. No, but actually a team like that. Yeah, I don't know. I really haven't given it much thought, but yeah, I mean, if he's
I think the Raiders would be the answer if you wanted him to like play. If I was Miami though, I'd be running to get someone like Daniel Jones.
like right now, Daniel
Yes.
Jones. Yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers would be a good spot for him. I mean, a place where he could, if you have a good team and your quarterback goes down, you can still be confident.
Function. You can function, right? Like Miami's offense couldn't literally function for how many weeks without Tua? Like those are the teams, and unless like the Raiders, they're gonna lose anyway, so maybe they just say screw it, whatever. But like,
No, I'm not talking this year. I'm talking next year.
no, I get what you're saying, but
I mean, this
Tony,
year, no team's gonna take him.
yeah, Tony, what do you think here? Well, I don't know. Could a team take him as a backup? You don't think Miami could swoop in and take him as a
I'm
backup?
saying no team that would no team like the Raiders. The Raiders aren't gonna they have no need for they want to lose anyway. So what's the difference?
That's what I was saying. But Tony, you see a ideal spot for someone like Daniel Jones?
Yeah, the CFL. Where does Johnny football play? That's where he could play. I mean, the dude is terrible. He's never playing again. I mean, he was so bad. But a backup.
He could be a backup?
I mean, I agree. I mean, all backups though. Like, sure? Is he better than the Miami backup? Probably, but I mean, he's terrible. So, I mean,
I would say he's better than 85 to 90% of the backups.
No chance.
He's better than 100% of the backups.
Oh my! You guys, have you not watched Danny Dimes? He is horrendous.
Have you seen some of these backups coming in?
Oh my God, he's not better than the Bengals backup.
You just named like one of the really good backups.
He's not better than my boy Carson Wentz.
Stop it! Stop it!
I can't even talk because of how bright I am. I'm so tilted by this camera,
dude. I love it. You look mint right now.
Yeah, you can finally see it.
I know.
Look at those dimples. You can see those dimples. My God, you're sexy. I never realized how sexy you were because you're always so dark in that dungeon.
God. Hey, are you talking about the Giants game? Is that why it came up?
We're just We're just honestly rambling.
Yeah, we were rambling, trying to get Big T back. I tweeted it
out though. This is like my lock of the year. Like Tampa Bay is going to win this game by 30. I mean, the Giants are tanking. Neighbors popped up at whatever with his groin or hammy or whatever they said. They got this bum that can't throw coming in. I mean, Tampa is a stone cold mortal lock. Just freaking go collect your money and just pound them. And Bucky Irving's the best play of the week. I've been waiting for this Bucky Irving spot for a long time. He finally gets a rush D that he's just going to go nuts on. Sign me up, because this is Nuke City right here.
Yeah, it's a really
I agree
good
with you on the
spot for
game.
running back.
I think this is a great spot for the Bucks. They're coming off a bye. The Giants don't want to win. They have a guy who can't complete a forward pass. The only thing the Bucks are bad at is stopping the pass. Well, you don't have to stop the pass when the guy literally can't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. Mike Evans is back. You have dissension in the Giants. You know, the leaders of the team are like, this team quit on us. They're not only benching Daniel Jones, but playing a guy who can't complete a forward pass. I think the Bucks are a pretty good smash spot as well. You know, Irving might be a great play. You could play Baker and Evans too. Like whatever. You can play anything you want from the Bucks side, because like going to score on this team. I could see the Giants just completely quitting in this game.
Yeah, I could see them quitting as well. I think the Bucks are like, I think they're probably I think they're like the best. How do I say this without sounding like stupid? Like
The best bad
their
team.
record's not great, but like I think they're the best of all like the bad record teams, pretty much. Like I think the Bucks are a good football team. Their defense is a little shaky, but I just like Baker's a really good competitor, and obviously his
Whoa,
talent
look at
has
that
been
color.
in and out. But
What is going on with Tony's camera?
I'm
I
in
have no
shambles.
idea.
I'm in shambles.
I thought he was like testing things with
I
lights or
was
something like
testing it.
that.
Yeah.
The Bucks.
Yeah.
The Bucks are the Bengals of the NFC.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that they have the upside that the Bengals have. Like, I think
For
that
sure.
the Bengals obviously could make like a somewhat decent run if they figured things out. Like, I don't know if the Bucks could, but I think the Bucks could give good teams really tough games and stuff like that. So I'm with you guys on this game. I think it's the Bucks all the way.
If you want a long shot, if you want a future long shot, I think the Bucks to win that division is not that bad. The bad thing is they lose the tiebreaker to the Falcons, but you're getting like 3-1, and their schedule is literally tailor-made. I mean, they have the Giants, they have the Panthers twice. They have the Saints. No, they don't. Their schedule is insane.
They got the listen to this schedule. They got the Giants, Panthers, Raiders at the Chargers. That's a tough game. Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
Yeah. So they have 6 of the 7 games. 6 of the 7 games, they're going to be over 4-point favorites. And then the Chargers game, whatever. I mean, like they're a little worse than the Chargers, but they could compete. And the Falcons, I mean, we've seen the Falcons are not that great. So you're getting like 3-1 on it. I mean, I don't love it because they don't hold the tiebreaker, but and Atlanta's schedule's not the worst either. But the Bucks have a legitimate path to getting there and winning this division, and getting 3-1. I mean, that's really all you could ask for. It's tough to get 3-1s where you absolutely, fist pump love it. But I could definitely see it happening. Yeah.
What stinks is like the Falcons still get some of these teams that want to lose. Like they get the Panthers the last week of the season. They get the Giants in week 16, I think it is. They get the Raiders before that, week 15.
Yeah.
So like
the Falcons have an easy schedule too. So
yeah. I think they have a few extra like tough games though. Like they get the Chargers, Vikings, and Commanders. I think that's a much tougher schedule than what we just read.
So I mean, at 3-1, I think it's a reasonable bet.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. We're all on the same side there. That was an easy game. Bucks all day. I like the Bucky Irving call too, Tony. So I'm kind of on board. They're going to use multiple running backs, but it looks like they're clearly like Bucky Irving's their best like early down runner. So
he's like the ultimate play this week by my numbers, because he's the number one flow chart play. And once you dig deeper, they played the Chiefs, the Falcons, who aren't a good run D, but the Ravens and the Chiefs are like 2 of the best run Ds in football. They played them the last 2 weeks. They played the Eagles, the Broncos. They've had like a brutal schedule. They haven't had a good run out yet. This is a good run out game.
And all those games you brought up, like outside of the Chiefs game, like he was solid in the other games, and that was splitting time, and he was solid, and he split time in those games. In the Chiefs game, that's like a difference in it because like Rashad White was okay. They had turnovers in that game.
Too. 5,300.
He's slam dunk city, baby. I can't wait.
I like it.
Yeah, he's a good play. All right. Titans and Texans next game on the slate. 8-point favorites. The Texans are at home, 40.5 total here. ODB, I throw it right back to you. Your Texans squad. They get Nico back. Obviously, they win that game against, the Cowboys are what the Cowboys are, but now they get Tennessee. This is like a nice little stretch for them. Is this an easy win?
I mean, you listen to all these pods that I listen to, they're all wanting to jam these Panthers, Giants, Titans, all these bullshit teams. The Titans suck, man. They can't score. The Texans are really good at getting pressure. I just don't see how the Titans put up many points here. Nico, they already said they're going to get Nico a lot more snaps. So you can get back on Nico before everybody else does. I know the Titans have been reasonable, but on defense, but Nico's a different animal. I mean, we saw, that game's completely different box score if they don't call that illegal man downfield on the first play, versus the Cowboys. So yeah, I like Nico. I like the Texans. I don't love laying a big number. The Texans haven't played that great on offense, but I don't really see how the Titans are going to score a whole lot here. The Texans are really good at applying pressure. Will Levis is very good at getting sacked. He's very good at fumbling the football, and he's very good at throwing interceptions. So those are all things that the Texans can take advantage of. So yeah, I don't love it. This isn't one of my big plays, but yeah, I definitely lean Texans. I can't in good faith play the Titans and just say afterwards, well, if it wasn't for those two Will Levis fumbles, well, yeah, but that's part of the handicap is that he's probably going to get sacked and fumble the ball.
All right, Tony, Texans, Titans. I know you hate the Titans, so there's like a 0% chance you probably take the Titans here, but what do you think?
Yeah. I hate the Titans. You're right. It still is one of those games, though. We talked about it all year. It's a division game. You're getting over a touchdown. And Houston sucked. Let's face it. Houston hasn't been good. Yeah. So I definitely don't love Houston, but I can't take Tennessee. You're right about that. I just can't do it. I do like a matchup, though. I like Ridley a lot. He's been good. We've talked about him on the Morning Wood a few weeks. He's a number one receiver, and Houston's just got crushed by guys like this. 5,700 for Ridley, and he's shown a ceiling. So I actually like Ridley a decent amount this week. All these plays that I'm bringing up are all in the 5Ks, which is a good sign for this week as far as upside, I think. I really like Ridley this week, but I don't know. Will Levis is 4,900. I actually like Will Levis more than the Giants bum.
Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. I definitely like Will Levis more than Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito absolutely is a bum. So if I was going to play a cheap guy, which I don't think I need because of how many cheap guys there are, I would play Levis over just because I can play Ridley. But then again, Richardson's not that much more than Levis too, so I'll just play Richardson. But Ridley, I do like the Nico call too because he's definitely going to explode again here soon, and no one's really going to play him at 7,600. He can't be more than 10%. So I like that upside. I don't know. I don't like Houston though. As far as bets, I don't love it.
Yeah, I think I would lean. I think I would lean Tennessee with the points at 8, just because I know that Houston's not a top tier team the way they're playing right now, but it's tough to have full confidence in a team like Tennessee. I will say though, Tennessee, we talk about schedules, their schedule just the whole year has been somewhat brutal. They've gone through some really tough divisions and stuff like that. They have to play the teams in the Packers, Bears, Minnesota division, and they've had some tough tough matchups. I think they had to play the Bill. Like they've just definitely been a tougher schedule. So do I think they're good? No. Do I think Will Levis is good? No. I agree with Tony that I would play Will Levis over Tommy or Danny, whatever his name is, all day. Even though he makes turnovers, he'll at least like try and make plays down the field, which I know like he'll at least try and like throw it deep. So I think for DFS though, I'll play a receiver. Even Westbrook Akine has been really good, and Wiley called him.
That's quietly your homeboy.
I mean, he's been good this year, and Wiley called him last week. Wiley played him last week. He talked him up last week on the Wood Show.
Let's be clear. I was the first one to call him a few weeks ago. Let's just give me my props here.
I think we both called him.
No, we did. Ago. This show was first on the Westbrook Akine.
First on. It was you guys. You guys can have full credit. I don't want credit.
That first game, ODB,
just the first game. That was it.
Indy. It was either Indy or Buffalo, and we were like, he was like plus 700 to score a touchdown or something.
I remember you guys calling it on that show. I liked it. To be fair, I liked the touchdown bet that week. I don't like him at 4,100 though. I'll let you guys play him at 41.
No. I'm not on him. I'm not on him now.
I just want to see his touchdown prop now.
I'm trying to
plus
find
360. He's plus 360.
700 that week was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Literally crazy. All right, enough of that game. Let's go to the next game here. Oh my God, Dallas and Washington. 10.5 point spread, 45.5 total. I think Washington was coming off the Philly game last time out. Dallas, Houston. I mean, what are we doing with Dallas here, boys? I mean, is Cooper Rush, is he building off that last game? He at least threw for like a decent amount of yardage, like went way over his yardage prop. Tony, could you see a little Cooper Rush resurgence here?
The two teams I'm confident in quitting are the Giants and the Cowboys. And those are two teams that I will not take. Washington's playing for so much right now. They're playing for a comeback season. Jaden, all the positivity. Dallas is just the other way. All negativity, all bad plays. I don't know how anyone could take Dallas in this spot. I'm on Washington. Yeah, there could be a dip, but I actually don't like Washington as much as I did early in the year. I agree with that. But I hate Dallas. I mean, Dallas is just bums. I'm on Washington. I'm on Brian Robinson, too. He's another 5K running back this week that has a perfect game script that I think crushes. So, yet another 5K guy that I love. And actually, you have to consider Schoonmaker, too, just because he's 2,500 and he always looks pretty good.
How the hell is Brian Robinson 5,600?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's some good plays this week in the 5K.
What? That's crazy. That's such a good play. ODB, I'm with Tony. This is Washington, but do you see any plays here?
Okay. First off, the reason why I was looking at my phone this whole time was John Magnani or whatever talking about Nico. Texan star Nico Collins set for an increased workload against the Titans. If they're playing 47% of the snaps, they definitely showed me love. They're getting me back in the groove. They were easing me in. So Nico's going to play.
And he's a stud. He's not going to – you want to be ahead of the curve with these guys rather than behind. Once he's back, he's back.
Yeah, obviously everybody's going to play him after he goes for 147 and 2 touchdowns next week.
I mean, he's a stud.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. I don't really have much confidence in this Washington team, but I have no confidence in Dallas either. So this is just going to be a stay away from me. I mean, I definitely feel like McCarthy is flailing. And when I say that, I mean, you saw a stupid fake punt early in that game. He knows he's going to get fired. I think anything's on the table. So when you have something like that, anything's really possible. They could just, they convert some of those plays, some of those weird things. They go for it on 4th downs. You do have game breakers with CD. but they also could quit too. I mean, they suck. I don't really think you can compare Washington's defense with the Texans D. So I don't really like laying 10 points with Washington, but I definitely don't feel confidence with the Cowboys. I wanted to like the Cowboys, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm just kind of off this game.
Yeah, and it looks like
nothing
we could
really.
get Mary Ferguson out. So Tony brought up Schoonmaker.
I think he's out for sure. Yeah.
Spanford also ran a good amount of routes too as a backup. So they're both 2,500. Schoonmaker's going to get the ownership. So if you want like a pivot, I don't think he's a crazy pivot at 2,500. Because really all he's got to do is outscore Schoonmaker, who's ahead of him. But I don't know if he's like way ahead of him. Like, I think they're still going to have like somewhat of a split-ish role. Like maybe it's 60-40, but something like that with the routes run. So I don't think he's a crazy play for DFS, but I like the B-Rob call. Let's go to the next
always
game.
Got the worst takes in chat. I mean, what is this? Big T ever? No, I've never placed a bet in my life, B-Nair. That is the dumbest comment I've ever seen in my life.
You literally post your tickets on Twitter.
I mean,
what was this referring to?
I don't even understand the joke. I don't get it, B-Nair.
I'm confused. I don't know what it was.
Got better jokes than that. Like, what are we talking about?
He said figured. All right. Minnesota.
I do have an eBay camera. Zoom in.
Minnesota, Chicago. Big T needs to go to Radio Shack. We got to get him there, people. All right. We got to get him over there. But we need the winners first. Minnesota here is a 3.5-point favorite. 39.5 total here. The Bears at home. Another home dog spot for the Bears. 3.5 though here. Can the Bears keep the momentum rolling? I know they didn't win the game, but they look better. They should have probably won the game. They did not. Now they get Minnesota back at home. Another division spot here. 3.5-point dogs. ODB, can the Bears do it?
Yeah, I think this is probably a pretty good spot for Chicago. One thing that Chicago's good at is getting pressure on quarterback, and the secondary is good. We already know that Darnold struggles against pressure. That being said, the Bears' offensive line is terrible, and Minnesota loves to blitz. I don't know if Caleb's quite ready to face a Brian Flores defense. I think the under is probably a pretty decent play here. I lean towards the Bears at home. The Vikings have not really been killers here of late, so I'll take the field goal plus, but it wouldn't shock me if Brian Flores' defense kind of wrecked this game from a Caleb perspective. So I don't know. I don't really love it. I lean Chicago, but I think there's a lot of variance in these quarterbacks and this defensive pressure that could go either way. So I guess the long and short of it is I'll take the points, but I think that there's a lot of variance in this game because I think one of these quarterbacks is going to make mistakes and going to get sacked and fumble the football. So lean Chicago, but worried about Flores' defense for sure.
Tony, ODB leans Chicago. Are you leaning Chicago with him?
Yeah, I got to go Chicago. If it was in Minnesota, I would like Minnesota, just the inside conditions. The weather's got to be bad. Chicago always has similar weather to us. The weather's absolutely shitty right now in Cincy. I assume it's going to be bad in Chicago, and I still don't love Minnesota. I know they've been pretty decent with their record and how the season's gone, but I haven't been a believer the last couple weeks. They don't look great. I foresee the yellow T workbench play. Yeah, I like Chicago with you guys. I definitely think this is an under spot, though. I don't like DFS plays here. Chicago just, man, they've let me down this year. I really believe they'd be a good team. They just have sucked. Caleb sucked. And on top of it, I think they all hate Caleb too, which isn't good when you all hate the quarterback. They just don't have good mojo, and that's the worry. But I do love this spot. I agree with the stuff ODB said, that the matchup's pretty good. They're at home. I don't trust Minnesota. I worry because Chicago's let me down all year, but I got to go them here.
I wonder, what do you guys say? I wonder with Caleb thing, because I do think they all hate him. I wonder though what it is. Like, what is it about Caleb Williams where was it like a lot of these guys that were on the
he's
team?
a cornball and he sucks.
Well, I was going to say, do you think it has anything to do with the fact that a lot of these guys were on the team last year and Justin Fields was the quarterback last year?
No,
and
I think people hate corny dudes. Like if it's corny only works when you're winning. If like Russell Wilson, people like him way more when he's winning than when he's losing. Everyone hates cornballs.
I still think they hate Russell Wilson. I refuse to believe that.
They like him more though when he's throwing it deep. Like they're enjoying him more when he's winning. Like his gay stuff, like he's around the goal line, like fake calling plays and stuff. Like guys don't like that.
Yeah. Oh, like his pregame warm-ups and shit like that he does. Yeah.
I mean, he paints his fingernails. I mean, come on.
For sure. That's the stuff that I just I don't know. Maybe I thought like it was the last year and going to this year with the new quarterback and stuff, but it could be just all those things.
I think DJ Moore liked Fields, but I don't think like the whole team like loved Fields.
I think that's
Cole Kmet. I think Cole Kmet, DJ Moore. I think they kind of.
I don't think these guys hate Caleb. I think that's overblown. I mean. What is it? They killed Green Bay. They dominated that Green Bay game. It's not Caleb's fault the guy can't kick a fucking field goal. I mean, it's not Caleb's fault that they had the Hail Mary versus I mean, the coaching staff is atrocious. They hate the coaches. I promise you they hate Eberflus. They hated Shane Waldron for sure.
I've been talking shit about Eberflus since last year. That guy was a menace last year because I watched every Bears game.
Terrible.
He was bad too, but I watched every Bears game, and I swear to God, every decision they made, I was like, this guy has no fucking clue what he's doing, and he just won because they had talent. And sometimes that stuff's gonna come back at you. Sometimes even when you have talent, you're gonna lose some games. And like ODB said, yeah, it's not their fault that they missed some field goals or whatever, stuff like that. But if players don't want to play for you or don't like you, that's a big issue. So whether it's the coach they don't want to play for or the quarterback, they kind of got to want to play for both those guys. They got to play for the quarterback and the head coach. You can't have both.
We talked up Tomlin so hard yesterday, and he sucked so bad last night.
That was one of the worst coaching games I've ever seen in my life.
Bad last night, right after we stroked him yesterday. He made us look so bad. I mean,
I've stroked him before. I've stroked him before, but that was the first time I think me and you both stroked him, and he was just
he comes out and has one of the worst coach games I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, what was that?
All I can picture is just him, and he's got snow like all over his beard and his hat, and they just keep showing him just like this. And I was just like, I hate you so much.
First question in the press conference, they're like, AB said he'd play for free. He just walks off.
Did you see George Pickens was like, oh, the Browns suck or whatever, and AB retweeted it and was like, welcome CT ESPN George Pickens stuff. It's like, dude, you can't say that after the team just whooped you. You can't say like the team sucked. Like, say we're gonna whoop them next time we see them. Like, I'm gonna friggin' dominate them next time. He
didn't even try to catch the Hail Marys. He was like in the crowd fighting. So one of the other players, like I don't know what that was.
I don't understood the Justin Fields bomb when he threw it to him. I don't know if you guys like watch it. Like he like half ran. I don't know if he like fully expected to get it. Like. Because he like didn't like run like full speed. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw that. I got
to pay freaking Mitchell Snyder $100. I forgot I bet him. Freaking god dang it, Mitchell.
Who the hell's Mitchell?
He's in the chat right there. Mitchell Snyder. He peeled me for $100.
That's Snyder.
No shit.
Mitchell. Yeah, you call him Mitchell. I don't know.
That's his name, Mitchell. That's what his mom calls him, Mitchell.
His mom doesn't call him Snyder too? I thought everyone just called him Snyder.
I don't think moms call people by their last name. I mean, my mom's not calling me Niehaus.
Well, that's a good point. She calls you Big T with me.
She might call
calls
me
you
Big T, but she's definitely not calling me D-House.
I don't even know. Does she? She has called you Big T before.
No,
but
she does not call me
she
Big
does
T.
not
Calls
call
me
you
Tony.
Big T.
Like it's your mom.
She doesn't call him Big T. I was just kidding. But I don't hear her calling you Anthony.
No, she calls me Tony. Like she's my mom.
Yeah. I call you Anthony. I don't know why she don't call you Anthony. Anthony, it's a good name. I like Anthony. It's a good fucking name. All
Only
right,
in the
we're on the
bedroom.
Bears. Jesus. ODB left as we get to the game of the show, not the game of the week.
We got to close with Big Daddy Bo. Let him come back. Get us to a different game.
All right, fine. We'll go to the next game.
That's
then.
Crane's rule, right? You finish with the best.
Well, I was going to finish with the actual best game, but that's fine.
Nobody's better than Bo. Bo's the
all
best.
Right. Yeah, you're right. The Raiders. Everyone just can't wait to see the Raiders. All right. The next game, Arizona, Seattle. 1 point. It's actually a good game, honestly, actually. So not a bad game, but 1 point spread, 47.5 total. Seattle is favored at home just slightly. Pretty much a coin toss, though. Tony, our Arizona squad, are we going back to the well with our Arizona squad here against Seattle, in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good game, like you said, where this game actually, so what's both records? We got Seattle 5-5, Arizona 6-4. That whole division's bumped up. So this is a very important game, and Arizona's been impressive. This is their chance, though. They got to go on the road in a tough environment and get a dub versus this Seattle team, which is a tough place to play always. And I think they do. I'm just not a fan. Seattle's beat me all year in different ways. I just don't love them, though. I don't love how they play. I don't love their defense. I do love how JSN finally started playing good, though. I've waited all year for it. He's looked really good the last couple weeks. But I just think Arizona's a better football team. I think Kyler's better than Geno. I think Connor maybe not better than Walker, but he's solid. The tight end's better. The receivers are better. Oh, as I'm saying this, I'm starting to contradict myself because Seattle's receivers are definitely better. But I think overall Arizona is a better
your boy
team.
Marvin. Your boy Marvin.
Marvin's good, but man, it's tough to say that their receiving core is better than DK and JSN. I started to eat my words right as I was saying it because that just can't be true. But I like Arizona. I like how they played. They're just upstart. It feels like they got more mojo going to them. I like Arizona over Seattle for sure. I think it's a gift. What's the number right now? We're at a pick 'em basically. 1 on DraftKings, 1.5 the other way on FanDuel. So it's basically a pick 'em all across the board, depending on where you look, somewhere around a 1 point spread. I like Arizona. As far as fantasy, though, I actually think this game is not a game that I like as much as other people. I don't love the prices. I mean, a lot of these guys, like James Conner's 1,000 more than all those 5Ks we talked about. Kyler's 1,000 more than Richardson or something like that. And then Trey McBride's 5,600. I just don't love this game fantasy-wise. I mean, both receivers for Seattle are in the 6Ks. I don't know. I like Arizona, not as much fantasy, even though this is a pretty high total.
Yeah, it looks like the running backs seem like the best plays on kind of both sides. But like you said, there's a lot of good running backs and they're cheaper too. But I like Arizona. ODB, can we make it 3 for 3 on Arizona?
Well, I mean, I typically hate Seattle, but I kind of like the spot for them.
You never shock me, ODB. If you take Seattle over Arizona, this is going to be a shocker. There's no way you're going there.
I know it's shocking,
Wow.
but I kind of feel like coming off a bye, going to Seattle. I don't know, man. I don't like Seattle at all.
I
but
would have never dreamed in a million years you'd take Seattle.
I know. I'm all choked up over it, honestly.
There's hints of sarcasm here, people. If you don't notice it already, there's just slight hints.
I'm dying. I'm dying right now. I don't know. I actually do like this from a fantasy perspective. I like Kyler. I like Trey McBride. Even Marvin Harrison, I think the coverage, I read that the coverage that Seattle runs, Marvin's like the second best in the league at breaking that type of coverage. And nobody wants to play Marvin, so I think he's fine. I think McBride, if you're going to play these cheap running backs, like McBride's a perfect spot to pay up for because he could actually smash the tight end position. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this game from fantasy, but more of like a game stacking but there's nobody that's like super expensive. So I think you can build a nice game stack with this game that could be not that highly owned. I don't know. I lean Seattle, but I don't really like this game, honestly. There are a lot of other games I like better on this slate than this game from a betting perspective. I think this game's just going to be close. Seattle always plays these weird ass games at home where weird shit happens, and sometimes they're on the right side, sometimes they're on the wrong side. Yeah, I don't know. No strong opinion. I lean Seattle, but I don't really know why because I typically hate Seattle and I typically like Arizona, but I don't know. No particular reason.
Okay, 2-1 there. Me and Tony on Arizona, Arizona, and ODB on Seattle. Let's go to the second to last game on the slate. Probably the best game on the slate from an actual game perspective. We've got Green Bay versus San Francisco here. Green Bay at home, 3.5-point favorites to San Francisco. What am I missing here? Brock Purdy a little banged up. George Kittle, I think he's going to play. I mean, those are kind of big things. I guess Brock Purdy being banged up might be a big thing here. But ODB, I'll just swing this back to you here. What do you think with Green Bay being 3.5-point favorites? I know it's at home, but against San Francisco.
They're 3.5 now?
I'm looking on DK. DK Sportsbook has 3.5-point favorites.
I mean, pretty much across the board.
If they're 3.5 now, then it just tells me that people know that Brock's not playing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. He hasn't been able to throw a football, man. Like, even if he plays, his arm's jacked.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about this game without Brock. I thought that Brock was going to play. I thought it was all just kind of smokescreen nonsense. But if the line went to 3.5, people know things. So, I mean, this game's just going to be a stay away for me if he's not playing. I liked San Francisco if Brock was playing. I don't really think Green Bay is very good, and I think the defense can get pressure on Jordan Love. Jordan Love makes a lot of mistakes, but if you don't have your quarterback, then that's a whole nother ball game. So yeah, this is just going to be a stay away for me if no Brock. But if Brock is going to play, then I'll take San Francisco in the points because I don't really think that. Even though San Francisco doesn't look good,
just hit the under 45.5. If Brock doesn't play,
it's probably just a Christian McCaffrey game, right? I don't know.
I mean, this game's a stone cold lock, boys. Like Bosa's out, Trent Williams is out, and Purdy's probably going to be out. I mean, this number is going to go up. It's not. I mean, the key number it's already passed, so it's not that big a deal now. I mean, it got to 3.5, but I mean, San Fran is they blew that game last week. I mean, that was another good take we had preseason. I remember us talking about that sometimes weird shit just happens all year. It's got the Bengals a little bit. It's got the Niners. I mean, they're in big trouble to make the playoff. So many injuries all year. They're not winning without Purdy, Trent, and Bosa. So yeah. I have visions of that playoff game where McCaffrey had to like play quarterback when they didn't have anybody. I'm not saying it's going to be that bad because obviously they have a plan going in, but we saw what they did in week 1 where they didn't announce anything till later in the week. I don't see how Purdy plays. He can't throw the football. All the reports are his shoulder or arm or whatever it is just jacked. So
how's this game going over that number of 45.5? Green Bay's offense has not been like,
I think you just bet Green Bay though. Like just
I agree with you, but I think the under's like a stone cold lock as well.
I like both for sure. I think both are like great bets. And if they do announce officially these guys out, even though it already got past the key number, which I think matters, it's still going to go up higher. It has to. It has to go up in Green Bay. It just has to.
Now, from a DFS perspective, if there is a 4K quarterback here, is either of you guys tempted?
Who even is their backup?
Is it Brandon Allen?
Oh, God. I'm not
Or
playing a San Fran guy.
or
I don't
is it
even.
Joshua
It doesn't matter
Dobbs?
who it is.
I don't even know what's the weather like there. You want a backup quarterback in Green Bay in December or late November?
I'm not playing him, no matter
Yeah,
who
it's
it
saying
is.
it's Allen. Yeah.
I'm not. There's no way. Yeah, so John says it on the other side. It is because I got unabated up. It's -3 on FanDuel right now. So I would bet that right now. Like, just freaking hammer it. -3. I don't really see even a risk in it. Even if somehow Purdy played, he's injured. Like, and Bosa and Trent are out either way. So, like, I don't see a risk in it, really.
Yeah.
You can always buy back, too.
Remember all those stats with like out Trent Williams? They're like 0-4, whatever they are. Like they're.
And one more sneaky flowchart play is Josh Jacobs. And that doesn't even account for the injuries. He's in the top 4 without any of that. So, like, they're going to pound this. We like the under. We like Josh Jacobs is slam dunk city. We got all these we're giving more plays today than ever on this show. I think Josh Jacobs is a great play.
What's going to happen when they play CMC at quarterback and Jordan Mason as the running back?
They're going to score 0 points is what's going to happen. Like, I saw what happens. They can't get a first down. I've witnessed this show before.
Oh boy. All right. Let's go to the game
Where's
of
Bo
the week.
at? Get Bo back
show.
on camera. We need Bo.
The show game of the week, we're calling it, which is the Denver Broncos against the Las Vegas Raiders. It is officially Big T and ODB versus JSU here with Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas. No, because the Raiders preseason, you guys, Bo Nix preseason, so it's officially us versus you.
Did you cash your Denver over already, Big T, or are you waiting until the end of the season?
I haven't cashed anything. I didn't have much on it anyways. I only had a little bit on it.
Number one preseason play.
Yeah, I believe.
You know, it's funny. If I think back, I couldn't do that preseason show, and I sent you my thing. My surprise team in the AFC, Broncos. Surprise team in the NFC, Cardinals.
It's looking good.
Woo, nailed those. I wish I would have put some money on the Cardinals. Unfortunately,
I got some on the Cardinals too, but I don't have that much on either one. A couple $100, but still, they're winners. Winners are winners. Be there. I got a couple tickets.
What were they? 10-1 for the division, Cardinals?
Yeah, something like that.
I think 11 or 12-1 even.
Maybe 11 or 12. I put some money on that too. Yeah. They're looking like real good. I mean, shoot, if San Francisco has to play a couple games without Purdy and Trent or Bosa,
they're done if they have to play. I don't think he can throw. I really think he's going to be out for the year. I believe it.
That's not good. All right, Broncos Raiders 6 point. That's a 6 point spread. Yeah, 6 point spread. 41 total is interesting. Denver got whatever they want last game. Like literally anything that they wanted to do, they wanted to run the football, they could run the football. Bo Nix stands in there, very little pressure. When he got pressure, though, moved out of the way, found someone on the move, looked really good. Is this just another spot where Bo Nix crushes against the Raiders? I mean, without much of a fight, Tony?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a roll city. It is division game, but the Raiders are another team where I just think they're done. I just think they've quit. I know that's a block take, like a square take. Broncos are playing great. I've always loved Sean Payton. I know some people kill him for some of the stuff he's done. I just think he's a good coach. He's always done good. He's always done better than people think he should. I like Bo. I even like their receivers. Vele was one of my better plays last week. When everyone was on the cheap Patriots, I love Vele. He had a nice game. He didn't like Nuke or anything, but he had a good, solid game. All the Broncos did. I have to take the Broncos. I mean, what's the best price we can get right now? We can get
6, right?
5.5 at FanDuel. So FanDuel's got some generous prices out there, but 6 everywhere else. It is that trappy number, but I don't care. I'm taking Broncos. I don't love this game fantasy. I think this is another slow-paced game that, I mean, I can't see Vegas scoring much unless it's Brock Bowers. I don't see anything else coming from them. So I'm on the Broncos, not much fantasy-wise, though.
Yeah, Madison and Zamir both doubtful, so you're going to get Amir Abdullah and Dylan Luabe, who both guys are kind of like pass-catching running backs, by the way. They're not like traditional running backs. Like, so that'll be interesting what the Raiders do, because they try to pound the football until they get behind, and then they just throw. But
that Luabe is like he's like the dude from the Chiefs, that white dude with the mohawk.
Carson Steele.
Steele? So they're like brothers. Those two
but
dudes.
he doesn't play that way, though, I don't think.
He plays kind of like that. I watched him a decent amount in college. I
don't think he's like a littler. Isn't he like a little scat back type?
He's a little white dude that.
Carson Steele is not little. He's like a big. He's like a big dude.
Is he like a Rex Burkhead type?
That's what I thought.
Maybe
ODB,
I was just saying they're both whiteys then. Leave me. I'll go with that.
Yeah,
they're both little
I think
whiteys.
you were saying they're both white.
And they're both very dusty. Like
they both suck.
They both suck. I'll say that much.
Where was he from? Northeastern, Northwestern? Where did he play?
Well, no. I think it was like a MAC school or something.
Like Northern Illinois or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that was where the other dude was from.
No, he
Carson
played.
Steele.
Hold on.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay, New Hampshire.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we're burying the lead here, boys. We're burying the lead in this game. The lead is Bo Nix. That's the lead. Cortland Sutton. I mean,
I like that lead.
I don't really.
Cortland Sutton's still in the 5Ks too. Just every.
I mean,
week
Cortland Sutton's gonna get 10, 12 targets. I think when it comes down to it is the Denver defense is elite, and Gardner Minshew is elite at turning the football over, getting sacked. They're not going to score. The Raiders are not going to score in this game. And the Broncos, like the pressure that Max Crosby gives is not going to affect Bo Nix. He gets rid of the ball quickly. The Broncos are going to have their way. They're going to win this game 31-10. And yeah, I love Broncos defense. I love Bo Nix. Love Cortland Sutton, and I'll be at the game 50-yard line. So
Broncos defense was my defense last week. They were 2,900. They only get a $300 bump this week. Oh baby, that's very nice. So I might just be going back to the well on the old Broncos defense there, because 3,200 that's a cheap price tag still for that defense. Depending on what I like, I might play one of these 4K running backs. If it opens everything up for me, I might take a shot on one of these two guys, depending on the ownership. As long as they're not going to get like crazy ownership, I want to make sure. Like,
what's the ceiling on these guys? Like,
I don't know, but if they get me like 10, I'm okay with it.
5K running backs though that are smashing.
Well, that's true. What about Javonte? Or are you guys just out on
these damn Bengals? Like,
I don't either.
Broncos. Like, they just run all these dudes. I mean, they got 7 running backs they run.
Not last week. Last week they said, "Here, Javonte, take the fucking keys."
I don't know. Who knows?
That tilted me so much.
Why aren't we playing Bo Nix? We just don't think they'll have to throw the ball enough.
No, you could play. I think Bo Nix is fine play.
I mean, Bo Nix runs the football. He throws the football. I mean, what, like his floor's like 20. His ceiling's like 35. He's not that expensive.
I just don't think they're going to need to score though. Like, I don't.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to need to score last week, and they still fucking jammed it in there. So.
Yeah,
I mean, I
don't mind Bo. I have no issue with Bo. He's the best quarterback.
Atlanta's defense might just be one of the absolute worst because
they 100% are. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we just got to start rating them as one of the worst because
them and Tampa Bay have 2 of the worst Ds for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Denver literally everything they wanted, they got. Everything was positive. I watched the whole game. I'm trying to think of like more than one negative play they had where I was like, oh wow, that was a really bad play.
Oh, they got whatever they wanted.
Whatever they wanted. So yeah, it's a good spot for sure. I think the receivers are where we gotta like be careful on teams like Denver because they've just got all these guys that Troy Franklin and Ville and Humphrey and all these guys that just come in and just, if you want to play a guy, Cortland Sutton, you can play him. Like, I'd be careful on these other. There's just too many guys. Like, and they don't get enough volume. I wish it was Ville, Tony. Like, I wanted to play Ville last week, but I was just like, in the end, I was just like, there's just too many of these fuckers.
I mean, Sutton's last 4 games, 21 points, 26 points, 19 points, 15 points. 15 points
he's
the week
not
before.
who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the number 2, 3, 4.
He said 15 points the last 5 weeks.
And he's still so cheap. He probably is just one of the best plays for sure. I mean, he's just so cheap. This 5K range is incredible this week.
I have this beautiful lineup. I need to shave $200 somewhere. Whew, I got to figure this out.
Who's a better spend up at tight end, you guys think? Trey McBride or Brock Bowers?
McBride.
Tony, what do you think?
Much better environment.
Yeah.
McBride?
McBride for sure, but I would probably take Kelsey over both of them.
This week you would?
I mean, McBride's 5,600, and this environment is nice.
Isn't Kelsey like the same though? You don't like him more than Kelsey?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Kelsey. I don't think this is where. I don't really know if this is where Kelsey comes out. Like, I mean, are they really just going to use? They really just going to use Kelsey and just get him hit 15 times against the Panthers? Like, why? What's the point?
I think like Noah Gray could do it again if you wanted to go to KC. Like, yeah, I just didn't.
Part of me just says the Chiefs want to have one game where they just shove their schlongs.
Dude, they just never do it in these spots.
They never do. And then the flip side to what I just said is why? Why do they want to do it? They've already won the Super Bowls. I mean, they don't need to show anybody anything. So that kind of answers my own question.
I'm gonna read you this lineup. You tell me where I can save 200 because I need 200 more to get to the Broncos defense.
Just don't say one play per the rules.
Why?
Those are the rules. Those are the rules.
No one cares anymore.
What are the fucking
Don't
rules?
read your defense and you're fine. Just don't read.
Yeah, just don't read your defense.
Jesus Christ. What is this fucking rules?
They like threatened to shut us down in the beginning.
Oh, on DraftKings?
Yeah, they said you can't give full. That's why in the optimizers you have to make like a couple changes before it'll give it to you because of the rule.
Jesus Christ.
Just read your besides the D.
Okay, well, I just won't tell the quarterback. We have no idea who my quarterback
there
will
we
be.
go. Exactly.
Perfect.
I need to save $200. I got Irving and Hunt at running back. Nico, Sutton, Tyreek, and Butte at receiver.
Butte? Did you just say Butte?
Yeah. 3,500.
Well, let's get off him to start with. That we can save 200 there.
All right, that's who I need. I need a 3,300.
Keep this guy off. You said
we can get him out of there to start with.
Anyway, I love this team. All right.
I'm just joking. I like any 3,500 guy you can play. I like.
I need to get to the Broncos defense. That's what I need. All right. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Who's your current D?
I want the Broncos.
Who do you have? Though? Who's the
Niners or Patriots or Cardinals?
Tyreek Hill to Mike Evans. Bang.
Tyreek Hill to Mike Evans?
Bang. That gets you 200.
Maybe. That could be
Mike Evans is a good low-owned play coming back this week. Mike Evans might win you the slate.
He's going to be hard to some of these weeks.
You think Irving and Evans together?
The Giants are going to quit. Like Tampa's going to score. I love Tampa. I mean,
you got the alpha wide receiver and you got the running back. Like,
all right.
I don't know.
I got to find something. I like the night games. I want to really quick get your take.
Go for it.
I really like the Eagles and I really like the Ravens. What do you guys like either of those?
Tony, do you like the Raiders? Eagles?
I struggle with the Eagles because they said
Ravens.
Devontae's out. Once they start losing guys, I
That's
get
my
a
worry
little
there.
worried. But I don't like the Rams, so I could be talked into the Eagles. God, I think I like the Chargers though.
Like
The Chargers' strengths. I haven't looked at it at all either, but the Chargers' strengths kind of line up with the way Baltimore plays. I don't know. They're going to throw all. I like the Chargers, but the other game I could be talked into the Eagles.
I think I like the Chargers and the Rams. I have a Rams problem though, so we'll just go back to it.
All right.
The Eagles are just. I'm convinced the Eagles have the best defense in football.
They might, but
yeah, I do
I'm
too.
convinced that Matthew Stafford is much better than you give credit for, and you don't like Matthew Stafford. So,
all right, Mitchell, I want my Hundy back. You can have the Rams. I want the Eagles with ODB.
There Eagles. We go. All right, get your money back there, Tony. All right, we got to get out of here. NBA shows at 6:00. Doing triple duty today. Got to get back for the NBA winners. So RPS 15% off. Get in for the NBA winners. We'll see you back here Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Me, Big T, and Wiley will be giving the DFS winners on the Morning Wood Show. So join us for that. So until then, for ODB, Big T, and myself, we're out here.